The last class we are discussed about types of dependencies. We have majorly four different type of dependencies. That is called as one is functional dependency, partial dependency, transitive dependency, then multi-valued dependency. uh, Multi-valued dependency. Functional dependency, an attribute B is functionality dependent on attribute A if A uniquely determines B. It is called as a functional dependency. When we talk about that functional dependency, normally the database design, some of the component definitely it's related to functionality, so it is called as a functional dependency. Once it will be executed, then automatically it will reflected in the report side. For example, we have a date of birth. The date of birth, it's having that DDMM YY format is there. Suppose uh, uh, when we given that information, it will calculate the age of the end user. That is definitely we have to give the functional dependency. Definitely you have to give the it gives the reflection for the functional dependency. For example, if we give the full information about the date of birth means it automatically calculated the age of the person. It is called as a functional dependency. Very simple example. uh, if you are not giving the data birth means it is not possible to calculate the age of the person. It is called as a functional dependency. So here we have two attributes. One is A, it is date of birth, and the second one is B, it is related to age. So, uh, both things are unique, yeah. So it is called as a functional dependency. Then partial dependency means occurs when a non-key attributes depends on a part of the composite key. We already know that what is key attributes and what is composite key attributes. Partial dependency, if we are not giving that information, it will not reflected in the report. But some field definitely we need that dependency. Some of the field it's not having that dependency. It is called as a partial dependency of activities. In real life we will having a lot of approach in the partial dependency. For example, when we talk about parent mobile number and father and mother mobile number, uh, if we when we are collecting the information about father, student information, we have to give first primary focus we are going to give for father number alone. Mother number, it may have that mobile number means then we will get it, otherwise we don't consider that one. What will happen automatically, the primary number of the student is father number. So it is only mother number, it comes under partial dependency. If father was not there, then this is a single parent means then we are going to collect mother number. It is called as a partial dependency. Then transitive dependency occurs when a non-key attributes depends on another non-key attributes. Here we give some other examples like that, how that transitive dependency will occur. For example, suppose we are collecting some information from the student. That information, it's they are providing in not a right way. Then that reflection of that collecting data, it gives the transitive dependency. Sometimes it may give the false information about the entire database. So it is called, comes under the transitive dependency, because after collecting the information we are going to check the report. At that time only we are identify that some of the informations, the user side or end user or those who are using the database, they are giving false information. That will when we reflected that information in the report directly means what will happen, it will give the transitive dependency totally, that it will create a negative impact about that particular data collection process. So it is called as a transitive dependency. Then multi-value dependency occurs when one attribute determines multiple independent values of another attributes. Understanding these dependencies is essential for a proper normalization process of activities. Here we have that functional dependencies, how that functional dependency is divided into drivable functional dependency and non-drivable functional dependencies. Here we are giving that transitive dependency. For example, here it is followed by some sequential flow of activities. A depends on B, B depends on C, like that. Each and every process we have some dependency. Then it is talk about that dependency along with the composite process of activities. It's having a multi-valued dependency process of activities. Uh, why we are using that dependency? Again, we are fine tuning the normalization process. We have a different type of normalizations. So we are fine tuning, avoiding the data redundancy activities. So we are implementing the this four types of dependencies. Multi-value dependency, we have a very good example. For example, we have two different type of address for communicating the user side. For example, one is personal address and another one is office address and another one is communication address. Like that, multi-valued dependency. But because that particular person, his native is one place, but he was because of working dependency, he was working in one place. Native is Nagarkoil, but working nature is dependent on Coimbatore. So, but communication address is dependent on where he was currently locating. So it comes under multi-value dependency. Like that, we have to consider based on the data flow. You have to analyze and we have to give the importance for the dependency. It will give the avoiding the data redundancy in wherever we are implementing the dependency. So it is a very important concept in our database design. I hope it is possible to understand why we are using the dependency and what is the different type of dependency, what is the real time scenario, how it was implemented in our applications. Okay, thank you very much.